Hello and welcome. Gritty Urban here. Thank you guys very much for joining me this Sunday or whenever you are watching this. This is going to be a bit of a departure from my normal Gritty Unexpected Sundays as I want to make a documentary, a mini documentary on a few details and a few things that I've discovered and put together that I'm not sure anybody has really put together before. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. This is a dive into something that I call the year ender. So let's get started. We begin in Cairo, Egypt, the Giza Plateau, the spot for the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this is widely regarded as a giant tomb for a pharaoh, but as more excavations are done, we're finding quite the contrary. During a recent excavation by a Dr. Zawi Hawass in a now quarantined off area below the Great Pyramid, they found that there is an underground river and that this was most likely a port connecting different spots underground. They don't know where these go yet. They haven't been fully excavated, but this does speak of volumes for what we find in the Book of the Dead about underground rivers connecting different spots. So who knows what's going to happen there. But as they took apart one of these ships they found during the excavation, they found a tablet that speaks of Erm Jawarm. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it roughly translates to the year ender. And now this is what got me thinking. This is what got me thinking and wanting to know more and see if there were other cultures that also speak of something similar. And boy, did I find something. Did I find some things. So we're gonna zoom over to Wiltshire, England now, the spot for the famous Stonehenge. This is another pre-modern history site that we're having trouble figuring out the importance of. Well, during a recent excavation, a Dr. Splits, yes, his name is Dr. Splits, he was digging up, well, I just call it digging up, but he was excavating a post, a wooden post that was found buried in the ground very near to the rocks there. As he dug this up, under it, he found a tablet. Actually, it's split in two now. Some of these sentences are hard to put together, but it does speak of a being that ends the year. Now, that sounds crazy. It also talks about how it's preceded by lights in the sky, and how it is how it will end the year for you, and it also seems like it's going to end the year for a lot of society as well, or their prehistoric society. I don't. It's hard to. The only things that are translated out of this are very few and far between. But it says you must be thankful for what the solstice brings, and that if you're not, that this thing is coming. Basically, the year ender. So I was very, very worried and scared when I heard about this. But I did not stop researching there. Now we're going over to Machu Picchu. Yes, this is a very beautiful site. It was undiscovered. It was left undiscovered for many, many years because of how high up it is. And wouldn't you know it, this spot in the Cusco region of Peru also has shown us that they spoke of a being that would end your year, and it does here say that it would end all years. So it looks like it's, I don't know, it sounds really scary, but it's the year ender. Once again, we're seeing this in a different society, a different culture, thousands of miles away, people who most likely never had contact with each other. They found this tablet. This tablet speaks of the year ender. It's a being. It looks like a humanoid being, but the stylization here and just the state that this tablet is in, it's very difficult to figure out exactly what it looks like or anything. So I started to put more and more of my processing power, more and more of my research into finding if there were other cultures that spoke of a year ender that's going to come around at the end of each year to make sure that the solstice turns over right, and to, sounds like, take out people who aren't really thankful for what they have. So now, my final place that I found some evidence of this is in North America. Yes, we are going to North America, and we're going to talk about the mound builders. Now, the spot I want to talk about mostly is in Chickasaw County, Mississippi. This is called the Bynum Mound and Village Site. Now, this is a Middle Woodland period archaeological site. It is very, excuse me, it has 6 conical-shaped mounds, and during the excavation of these mounds, they found this. It is a talisman, and this talisman is known as the World Ender. Now, it's a little different than the Year Ender, but it speaks of the same thing. There are a few other talismans. I could not find a clear picture of the back of this one either, because on the back it actually speaks a bit about what the World Ender does. Well, they call it the World Ender, but I mean, that's not the actual words they use, but that's the translation. Now, this is where things really started to hit home, because I found that there are hundreds of burial mounds that are all over the United States, and also other cultures. We're finding them around the world as well. So, just really strange that it speaks of the year ending, the world ending, that all these cultures have a legend. And it also speaks, I almost left this part out, also speaks of lights in the sky that will precede it, that these lights will become more prominent. I don't know if it's the stars, I don't know what exactly, but each one of these cultures and each one of these tablets and each one of these finds is speaking of lights in the sky that precede, that come right before the year ender comes. And that, and also most of these are speaking of, you must be thankful for what you have, and if you're not, then that's when he's going to end your year, or he's going to end the world. So I'm not quite sure exactly how this all comes together, but, and this is where things really start being a little bit scary, a little bit frightening. There has been a 700% increase, okay, based on a national database, 700% increase in UFO sightings, in lights in the sky. People citing strange lights in the sky. There was one recently over California. There was one recently here in Arizona. There have been these reports of lights in the sky, that 700% increase that happens, and I have mapped these out actually based on the time periods. In the last 2 years alone, there's been a 700% increase during the month of December, only during the month of December. And then this is where I'm going to show you some pictures of what I've seen and what other people have seen. And while I was out, now, I mean, this is kind of a scary looking thing here, so I just wanna warn you guys ahead of time. While I was out, very recently, I don't remember exactly what day it was, I snapped this picture of something walking through the desert around here. We have little desert type places around here, because a lot of my area is not very built up. It's not very colonized yet. So I snapped this picture, and I do not know what this thing is, but it really set me off the deep end, and I must get to the bottom of this. So this is Gritty Urban, letting you know that I have documented this. Hopefully you guys will bookmark this and come back to it. Hopefully it won't, nothing will happen to my channel or anything, but I feel like I'm on to something here, and it is, to me, this feels a lot like it's the year ender. So my message to you is, be thankful for what you have, and just be safe out there.